edition of the Africation Show. Can you hear me all right, sister?
Yes, I can hear you now. Yes.
Good evening and welcome to another Africation Show. My name is 45. I'm host and co-presenter. My co-presenter, Sister LP. And we've actually got a very wonderful show lined up for you. We've got a brother called Ras Demo, who's going to be discussing the condition in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the situation that's happening there at this moment in time. So I'm just going to hand you over to my co-host, Sister. Would you like to take over?
Okay, so thank you all for joining us. I want to just say that it's a beautiful day where I am. And I know that there are many people who may be inclined to find themselves in certain beer gardens up and down the country. So thank you so much for those who are actually joining us this evening. We really appreciate you. Or what's the word now they say? Appreciate love you. We appreciate love.
Appreciate love, yeah. Yeah. I got that from Galaxy, actually.
You did? Okay, yes. Appreciate love. That's what we're showing, and that's what we're all about. So this is the Africation Show. Every other Saturday you can find us. We are available on the radio link, and we have a studio phone number, and the studio number that you can find if you want to contact us, if you want to send a text message or make any comments into the show. The studio number is 07312 124 586, and the WhatsApp number, if you want to send us a text or join the Africation WhatsApp group, which I might add does not bombard you with messages. The number is 07986 726 238. Okay, so we are currently on the Zoom as well. And if you do already have the link, then you are quite welcome to join us on the Zoom, like our dear sister on Linker. And Sister Teresa as well, who's having some problems with her batteries. So, brother, big 45. How has your week been? How are your preparations going? And what's new in sunny Huddersfield?
Oh, it's been a wonderful week, actually. It's been very hectic, and as you know, I'm trying to organize this cycle ride on the 11th.
Yeah.
And I'm just running around, basically doing a lot of promotion. And I was on a radio station in Manchester during the week. I did an interview there. A brother set me up for that, and that went quite well. I've been speaking to a lot of people with connections, with a lot of with different platforms, a lot of so I've been sending them the GoFund link to try and get as much donations as we can.
Okay.
Well, basically the bike group itself, for the ride, it's there's a lot of people interested as far as riding is concerned. We've had to sort of ease off with some of the riders. There's so many interested in, because we connected with a black riding group from Manchester.
Okay.
And they're wanting to bring at least 30 over, okay. Riders.
30?
Black riders, that's what they're talking.
Yorkshire would be a challenge for them because I think Manchester's quite flat, isn't it?
That's right. That's what they were saying.
Yeah.
So, we don't want to kill them off.
Not our brothers, no.
We've got quite a few sisters represented from Bradford as well.
Lovely.
There's a sister Anne-Marie. She runs a bike group over in Bradford.
Okay.
And she's coming across with her group. And we've got a brother in Leeds coming across with this group. Okay. And obviously we've got my group over here, Cycle of Life. So we'll be all linking up at the Adawi Centre. It's 10 a.m. we open to meet. No, we open to meet for about 9:15, but we're setting up at 10 a.m.
Okay.
On the ride. So we'll be going to, we've already sorted out a route, but we're going to do the route again tomorrow morning.
Okay.
So we're going to do, our riders are going to do that route tomorrow morning, just to check out a few things.
Okay. So it's a bit, oh, sorry, please excuse me. So it's a bit like a practice run that you're doing tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, sorry, I was just suffering with my
Hay fever.
throat.
It's hay fever.
No, it felt as if I had something caught in there.
A frog.
It still does.
Is
So
it
a
frog?
little frog. Yeah. A fully formed frog. So I'm just going to sort of excuse myself and get myself a drink.
Yeah.
Would you just remind us once again, why are we having the cycle, the charity event? What's the reason?
Well, the reason behind it is basically to try and raise some funds for the St. Vincent and Grenadines, because of the situation that happened concerning the volcano, and a lot of people have been displaced, and there's a lot of, you see, the media itself has taken the eye off it, but it's up to us as a people to keep our eye on it, and realize that our people are in a dire situation at the moment and they need our help. So basically that's what it's all about. It's about trying to help them to get back on their feet, because once one of us is hurt, all of us is hurt, you know. So that's the way to look at it, basically. So we've got to do for self and stop really depending on others to do everything for us. And that's the way, that's my mentality. So therefore I just felt it's because I run this group and we've done several things, several fundraising events in the past, you know. So I decided, well, what I'll do, I'll set this up and see what comes out of it. Whatever comes out of it will it'll be well appreciated.
Okay. And how is the GoFundMe pot growing? Is it doing well?
Well, it's ticking over all right. We're over £400 at the moment.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
we've raised over 400 so far, but hopefully that'll increase a lot once we do the ride and we get people gathered together on the day itself, because we'll be bringing some buckets down, and because a lot of people are not so technical in the ways of using the GoFund.
Yeah.
So they'll probably just want to give you something in your hand to,
Yeah.
which I can understand. So we're providing that facility on the day. Okay. So we're encouraging people to basically come down to the Adawi Center around about 10 o'clock. I mean, after 9-ish, 10 o'clock-ish, to see us off. And we're encouraging people to be there for when we get back.
Okay.
There's a what you call it, Afro-Caribbean food shop right there, and they will be opening up on that day.
Perfect. Lovely.
So,
okay.
Plus we've had a few funders, helping us to, sponsor us in certain things, and we have to give them a big up as well.
Yeah. Okay. So people from the community are really coming out and showing their support.
Yeah, well, that's what we're hoping for. We're hoping for the community to show their support and basically just help as much as they can, because the situation, as I say, it's dire as far as our people are concerned over there, and they need a lot of help. During the course of this broadcast, what we'll do, we'll give you connections as to where you can basically send certain things to, if you want to donate clothing or so forth. We'll give you a connection for that, phone numbers and so forth. So what we'll do, I'm just going to check with the brother to see what time he's coming on.
Okay.
And then but in the meantime, I'll play a track. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Right then, sister, over to you.
Okay, so we are back. Um, this is kind of unusual for us on Africation. Our guest speaker is having some technical problems, and so at present he's not been able to join us, but he's trying his best to get to us. So hopefully, at some point throughout the show, he will be joining us this evening. He has sent us some information in advance with regards to what's happening over in St. Vincent and in the Grenadines. It was really interesting to read. So, what I'm going to do is just take this opportunity to read the information that he has sent to us, hopefully without coughing. There are some really interesting points in there. So I'll be looking for some interaction, if possible, from those who are available online and those as well who are listening via the radio link. So here we go. The hashtag is support St. Vincent. So if you put support St. Vincent into Google, you'll get loads of information up about the works that are happening currently in St. Vincent and the Grenadines in order to help with the relief efforts that are being made at the moment. As you heard last week, at our last Africation show, there is so much that is happening, but there is also so much more that can be done. So often, as Brother 45 has mentioned, when our countries are hit with disaster, it's not long until they fall out of the media attention. And this is the situation that we've got ourselves into over the years, or maybe it's always been like this, because we are in a spiritual war, whether we know it or not, with those powers that decide who gets attention from who doesn't. And I'll be making a comment about that a bit later on as well. I'll just read here, though, some information about what's happening with these St. Vincent supporters. So they say we are a community of people, both UK and SVG based, who are working together to not only raise awareness for the recent events that have occurred on the island, but are also on a mission to completely equip 3 special needs schools in St. Vincent. This is a goal that will take time, but we are ready and steadily awaiting to make this breakthrough. So they've got a list of resources that are needed by them to set up these special needs schools. And yes, the list is extensive, but as a community, we know that we can cover this. We could probably cover this a couple of times over. They are prepared to jump the hurdle of the extensive list, and anything at all is better than nothing. In advance, they thank us for our communication. So what we're going to do in this show now, until our brother comes online, is just have a conversation about what we can do. And the conversation will no doubt move on to other subjects, because with us, everything links together. So the special needs project is called Bequia. I believe it's called Bequia, spelt Bequia. And there are around 24 students aged between 5 and 20 years. And they have various levels of difficulty. So the school that they intend to create in the St. Vincent caters to students on the higher and lower end of the spectrum. Students with a range of learning disabilities and difficulties. Some of the students have Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, and some students are hearing impaired. Most of the students, and this bit was really interesting for me, it shouldn't have been surprising, but we'll have a conversation about this. Most students come from single parent households with a low social economic backgrounds. Some students are affected by the digital divide. They have no access to electronic devices or the internet at home. So this is a problem. This is a problem that I hope that we can discuss. The number of teachers that they have so far are 7. 7 special needs teachers, and the project is in Georgetown. So they've got 25 students, they've got 7 teachers, and these students have a range of locations on the spectrum. We can also maybe discuss this spectrum as well, because I know that Dr. Umar has a lot to say about the spectrum and the measurements that are used in order to define us as being mentally impaired. There are many different opinions as to the ADHD and other illnesses, ailments that sorry, excuse me, that come with acronyms, ADD, ADHD, etc. And there are many reasons that Dr. Umar gives as to why we are suffering with such afflictions today. I've been having conversations with people within the community about sugar. And I had an interesting conversation with some sisters in Kenya a few months ago who were talking about the fact that parents, mothers in particular, are no longer, or they're trying to come away from breastfeeding their children to keep in line with social advertising that implies that that is the way forward, that canned milk or powdered milk is the way forward, especially for those mothers who are now entering the workforce. So what am I saying? Excuse me, because my throat's suffering. But what I'm saying is that there are maybe some other reasons why we are experiencing afflictions that are not measured by ourselves. Our diets have changed hugely, and we find ourselves often in lands that are not native to our own, i.e. London, England, UK, Huddersfield, Yorkshire. It would seem that the norm that we have come to understand as life in the UK is now, or has been for quite a while, spreading further afield. So, as I said before, what interested me was about the digital divide, which is real. There is a notion when it comes to the digital divide that some people who have grown up with internet connection and the ability to jump on the internet, who have had access to computers and tablets and mobile phones, those people are referred to as digital natives. Digital natives are from a certain age onwards. So from childhood onwards, our children would be referred to as digital natives because they've always had access in the UK to some extent to electricity, to the internet, and to digital devices. People in other countries are referred to as digital immigrants. digital immigrants are those who are just coming onto the internet now, who are just being able to sustain electricity, just being able to access digital devices so that they can participate in global communication. This is seen as a problem, as everybody is at different stages of internet know-how. An example of this is the fact that I can put a website together, but my nephew, I call him my nephew, the little boy that I'm staying with, I was amazed today as he navigated my phone in ways that I've never known were possible. He's a native. I would be referred to as an immigrant. My question is it necessary? Is internet connection and having access to devices and everything that kind of locks us into this system, is it necessary in our Caribbean and African countries? Especially if there are narratives that are being spread about that are disparaging to our natural practices, i.e. breastfeeding, i.e. our diets. In a lot of our Caribbean and African countries, the spread of fast food chains is off the hook. A lot of people now, I was speaking to these sisters in Kenya who said that, you know, if a brother wants to take a sister out on a date, they will go to the local KFC or McDonald's. That's a date. That's a man with money. That's a real good date over there. Whereas for us, going to these places is not really looked at in that way. So, Brother 45, do you have any opinion on anything that I have just said?
Yeah, sister, you've said a lot there, actually. You've said a lot, actually, because from a personal point of view, I believe that we're living in an environment that's actually alien to our nature. That's what we're living in. And the thing about it is we've become so used to living outside of ourselves that we don't know what it's like to live in ourselves, if you
Yes.
get what I'm saying.
Yes.
It's become the norm because we've been brought, generations after generations have been born into this.
Yes.
So to them, it's normal. But those of us that have studied and know different, know that this is not normal. You see, we're living the life that's basically mapped out for us by somebody that's not got our best interest at heart. So therefore, we tend to do things that, and people say, well, how can you do certain things like this, and how can you do this, and how can you condone certain things? Because it's not our nature, but we condone it and we accept it because we think it's normal. So it brings us back to where we need to have a knowledge of self, a proper knowledge of ourselves, and to know exactly where we actually come from and what was our tradition. You know, what's our native tradition of doing things, and how it sort of like progressed us in growth as a person, because obviously the living the Western lifestyle is because it's alien to us. As we progress as a human being, we don't naturally progress as an African. We're basically Africans in a European mindset.
Yes. Yeah. And the moral compass in this European mindset is way off the mark. There are many activities now that are being pushed as a narrative in the name of progression that may not have been, or that may not be, I don't know, beneficial to our growth as a people.
Well, it wouldn't have been acceptable at one stage. If you notice, things happen in stages. What's happening is being planned from years and years ago. it's been planned, but they put it out in stages. They're getting you ready for certain things. And you see, like how this generation that they're feeding now are quite used to certain things like dating on the internet and things like that. That's to them, that'll just become a norm where, you know, people don't really interact, where you go and meet somebody and have a conversation and sit down and talk. It'll all be done online. You
Yes.
know, and that's is becoming the norm. You know, a lot of people are connected with people online. You
Yes.
know, and there's so and but really the way to interact with people and that is to be with them.
Yes. In their presence, in their
Yeah,
company, where there is there is a lot less confusion.
yeah,
You know, we read our faces, body language. We are an expressive people, and we carry an energy about us. When we are together, that energy is amplified, but the energy isn't always. It doesn't always conduct as much on the internet. It's not the same, is it?
no, exactly. Yeah.
Mm,
So my point is that we've got to get to a point now where we have to take control and sort of like claw back and say, no, hold on a minute, you're still asleep, and we're gonna wake you up, and this is what, you know.
yeah.
You know, so we need bold people to stand up and stop the trend,
Yes.
because
Yeah.
it's not beneficial to us.
Yeah. Now, it's not, and I completely agree with you. But we're often looking for a hero or a shero. Maybe you don't agree. I don't know. What do you think? But you know, there are people out there who are natural leaders, and I'm not sure if you're aware of the brother Melanik Shabazz, who passed away this week. He was a London-based brother, and there have
Film director.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's right. Yeah,
and there have been a few other people from our community who, you know, I wouldn't say substantial people, but noticeable, that have passed away suddenly in the last few months, in the last year. Yes, we know that there's a pandemic going on, but it's a huge loss. It's a dent, and often the people that raise their head above the parapet, you know, are the ones that do tend to pass away a lot earlier. Our brother Malcolm X, our brother Martin Luther King, you know, are examples. And often it's at our own behest as well. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done with regards to.
yeah. What you see, that brings me to the words of Bob Marley.
Mm,
How long shall they kill our prophets
mm,
while we stand aside and look?
mm.
You see, that's because the goal for them is to wipe out whoever stands up. But
Yes, that's it.
at the end of the day, there's only so many you can wipe out before it gets to a stage where you know what I mean. It's got to stop.
Mm. Before everybody wakes up and says, that's it, we've had enough.
Yeah,
Okay, okay. I think that moment they refer to as critical mass.
yeah. Well, we're living in a time where right now, where a lot of people are really waking up. You know, it's.
Mm.
I mean, it's the revolution will not be televised.
Yes, yes. And it's not being televised, is it? Not really. There's a lot
No,
of people out there who are stamping their feet and saying no. Um, but I mean, I don't have a television and I don't really go out looking for information of what's going on out there. But yeah, are a lot of there's a lot going on in the world that isn't televised, that isn't um, recorded in the media, and that's, you know, a means of control. There's a system of control. So having shows like this, having programs like this that raise awareness of what's going on in other parts of our countries is really important, and it's really necessary. So we do have Sister Teresa, who has just joined us on the Zoom, just explaining, Sister Teresa, that we did have a brother lined up to speak with us this evening, Brother Debo, Ras Debo, and he is from the support hashtag support St. Vincent community. And they are a community of people who are doing what they can to help with what's going on in St. Vincent at the moment. They're also working to create 3 special needs schools as well, for those who find themselves in different places on the spectrum. So I was just wondering whether there was whether you knew of the people, the community of the Support St. Vincent hashtag. As I was saying, Brother Ras Debo is planning to join us this evening, but he's having some technical issues. I just wondered, sorry to put you on the spot.
Oh, I'm the right person to ask, because I'm quite surprised. Everywhere I go nowadays, it's just connections, connections. So I am doing a very big support St. Vincent with a lady called Laura, and I've been working with her for the last 4 months. Well, it's been 4 months since the volcano.
Okay.
She comes on my program as a citizen journalist, talking about what's happening to the people on the ground. And she's in which part now? I can't remember the name of it now. I'll have to look at her address. But she came to me because I'm the trustee, one of the trustees of GAC UK, Global African Congress, and she came on to talk to us on International Day. And she, we know her anyway. But one of the things that I've been doing is keeping in touch with her, because I'm a business coach, and I'm trying to bring water filters to the island, because she explained to me that the water, they can't drink it, and they're getting a lot of bottled water problems because all the water has been sent is bottled water. So I've got a water company who's got the filters, and we're ready to go, actually. So she's on my program, and I'm a creator of Take 3 Chefs, which is a re-energizing our culture and teaching people how to cook our cultural food in a healthy way. So I'm very involved in St. Vincent, but I'm also very involved in a concert that we're doing for a little boy called Rafa, who is needed a foot operation. And so we're doing a combined 3-continent concert sometime in August, hopefully, with South Africa, UK, and Jamaica. And some of the beneficiary of that concert will be going to St. Vincent. So I'm just saying, I'm very much aware, but I haven't heard of that group. But I have been keeping a close eye on St. Vincent, and I'm working quite closely with Laura about how we can help them, because I understand the issues on the ground and what's happening to the elderly and the single mothers. And there's a lot of challenges going on for them.
Okay, thank you so much, Sister Teresa. There are so many questions that I'd love to ask you. First of all, the young lad, Rafa, is the plan for him to get surgery outside of the country that he's in currently?
Yeah, what's happened, he's got a 1 in a million. He was born with a deformed foot, and what they do in Jamaica, where he was born, he's only 5. I could put his information in the chat.
Yes, please.
They do a horrible thing, which is that they cut the foot off. They don't operate. They don't have any idea about the fact that around the world there are specialists. In Miami, there's a specialist hospital, and another child, 1 in a million, but there are other children. The European child has already had the operation, but what they do in Jamaica is cut the foot off. So we said, no, we cannot have this child, that happening to him. His mum's been on it on her own, and we've joined. We've got a team of international support that we're trying to do. So this is just, we're trying to raise the money, and so that at least a mother can say, she can go to, to get the operation. But more than that, we want to raise the profile about children and how the governments are not helping, because how dare they just offer amputation for a child when there's an operation? It is just absolutely abhorrent.
Yeah.
So there's a bigger story and a bigger battle, because it's not acceptable that a child, and he's also a child genius on top of it all. I'll show you a video of him if I can do a copy and paste in the chat, but if not, I'll send it to you by WhatsApp.
Okay.
But he's doing division at 5 years old.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, if you have the video to hand, then I'd be quite happy to do a screen share so that we can have a look at that together. But it is often the way, though, isn't it, that when it comes to our people in our countries, they will just amputate as opposed to find, yeah. And this is, the rest of our lives, often our youths that are walking around as amputees that really do deserve to have the use of all of their limbs,
Exactly.
and would probably do a lot more with them. I don't know whether I'm out of turn by saying this, than some people who are, in inverted commas, able-bodied.
Definitely. I'm just going to have to jump off for a minute to get all those bits, and I'll jump back.
Certainly.
On how long is your meeting for today?
Well, we are on until 10, and that is.
I'll be back.
Okay, perfect.
I'll be back. I'll go and talk to the mother and try and get a little something to show you, because we have a GoFundMe page and we also have the video of him, and we have a pitch deck. So I'll come back with that. But we also meet every Saturday at this time to do a check-in to see what the campaign is doing. So I'll go to that meeting, then I'll get even more up-to-date information to bring back to the group. But I really appreciate your interest. It's lovely to hear that you're interested.
Yeah, I don't know if you're aware, but we're actually Brother 45, who is here, has arranged a charity cycle event, which is happening this coming Sunday. And that's a bike ride from from Huddersfield to Bradford and back.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah, Brother 45, would you like to just quickly, briefly, because Sister Teresa's going to go, but just repeat what you said earlier on in brief?
Yeah, basically, sister, what we're doing, I run a cycling group called Cycle of Life. And what we're doing, we've contacted cyclists from Manchester, cyclists from Leeds, also cyclists from Bradford and Huddersfield. And we're all going to meet up, do a cycle ride from Huddersfield to Bradford in aid of St. Vincent. And for the last few months, I've been promoting that. And it's all taking place on the 11th of July, which is next Sunday, not this Sunday, next Sunday. And everything's in place for that. And we've set up a GoFundMe page. And hopefully by the time we finish, we should have a substantial amount. It's standing at the moment, just over £400 is in that kitty. And we hoping that it'll rise a bit more than that by the time we've done the ride. And it's just been a lot. It's been a lot of ins and outs in putting it together. I've done a few radio interviews on different radio station, Manchester and Huddersfield and so forth, And the brother was supposed to come on this evening. I think he's having some sort of technical issue. He's a brother I've linked with, and he's actually there's actually a group that he's put me in. That's St. Vincent's group, WhatsApp group, and then they're doing a lot of fundraising events and so forth around it. So I've only just linked with that brother, and I would have liked to be, because he's basically on the ground with what's going on.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, I've just looked in the chat. My meeting is 8:30, so I can hang on a bit longer before I go. But I was in Manchester on Monday because I work with lots of people. You're going to hear me say I work with lots of people. But we were there with the Preston Windrush, supporting them with their food kitchen. on Monday. We were down there. So Glenda, who created that Windrush, Preston Windrush group to challenge the government around the Windrush story, is very active up there. And she's going away tomorrow. But what I will do when she comes back, and on a Tuesday, there's a chat, a Zoom chat every Tuesday for people who are struggling with Windrush and who just want to talk. And that's a great place to galvanize more support for your cycle. And if you have a leaflet, I can give it to them because they have a very wide circulation, and they also have the Black Police, and they have the council. You know, it's not just the community. So I can definitely send that to Glenda, and she will circulate that in her group.
Yeah,
But
I
that's
don't know if,
amazing.
yeah, well, I don't know if the system will be able to put it in the chat, the pictures of and the all the information.
Yeah, I tell you what I will do is if I put my mobile number and
Yeah,
my WhatsApp number into the chat system,
yes,
would you
Yeah,
please?
that would be great. And then I can communicate with you outside of the Zoom, because sometimes I can't copy and paste in Zoom. I don't know why it
Yeah,
just won't let me do that, but that would be helpful.
okay, thank you.
And with your group in the St. Vincent, one of the things the lady said to me is that the reason why I'm helping is that the groups are, there's a kind of pickiness about who gets help. And when you send it to the government, they're not sharing it out equally. Obviously, I'm not there, and I don't know if that's 100% true, but I believe her. And she says that, you know, some groups are getting and some groups are not getting. And that's an issue. I don't know if you've heard that.
yeah. This is why I want to make sure that every penny that we manage to accumulate will go to the right group, because I've heard certain things like that, and I'm very mindful. So at the moment, I've been dealing with a sister who's representing the High Commissioner for St. Vincent and the Grenadines in the UK. I got in touch with her, and there's a couple of sisters that's I've been involved with, that's supposed to be high profile. But at the same time, I'm still wanting to find out information, so to make sure that when I hand this money over, it goes to the people on the ground.
Yeah, it would be great outside of this chat if we could have it in our group chat about it, because I mean, she said to me that, sister, you know, no matter what they tell you, there's tons of stuff coming, but you know what? Go ahead.
No, carry on. So there is stuff going out there. That's
Oh
good.
yeah,
Okay.
there's tons of stuff going, but it's going to the official, and then they're shipping it out. But the ones who don't, who are not able to go and get it, or who can't know where it is, they've been excluded. And the other thing she said, the tax ran out, the tax allowance or the tax leeway ran out on the 30th, and there was some stuff coming from Barbados, and now they're charging. So that's the other thing you have to take in. They had a kind of holiday from the import-export tax, and then they said the 30th of June was when that is going to stop, and then you have to pay for the import of the goods. So which I found was incredible. I mean, they still got the volcano.
Well, apparently there's been another one. There's been some, the hurricane season's going on down there, and it's apparently somebody sent me some stuff whereby it's they're experiencing some terrible winds and stuff.
Yeah, I just spoke to her this morning. I mean, I'd love to get her on this chat if she's available. You know, maybe I can get her to come on and explain. Because as a citizen journalist, what she does for my show is that she comes on and tells us, you know, what's happening within the last few days. So you get a current understanding. But she said there were, you know, some of the roofs and the wind, but she said Barbados had it worse than them. But they did have a flood a couple of weeks ago as well. So it's not settled yet.
Yeah, but bearing in mind, sister, most of our listeners listen via the link. We've got a radio link that a lot of them listen to it. They only have a few on the Zoom itself, but most people are listening via the radio link at the moment.
Okay, so would you like me to ask her if she's available to come on, or would you want to leave it for next time?
Well, ask her if she's available. We don't mind, because the next time it's going to be 2 weeks away, and and it's we've got another show planned for the next time actually.
Okay, so what I'll do, because of how it works with Zoom and WhatsApp, it won't let me, if I'm on my phone, to talk on WhatsApp while I'm on Zoom. So I'll come off of the Zoom, ring her, and then I'll come back on the Zoom. Is that
Yeah,
okay?
no problem, sister. That's fine.
All right. Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So all being well, we will have some information, some live on the ground information on what's actually going on in St. Vincent and the Grenadines as we speak.
Yeah, and bearing in mind that at this moment in time, a lot of our people, obviously, some of them might be listening while they're watching the football, but which we appreciate you listening still while you're watching the football. But we know the football is gathering some attention from our people today. We know that,
Absolutely.
because sports and play is the order of the day.
It's a huge distraction, isn't it? And I was I was having a conversation with somebody last week who how do I put this? I was able to join Brother Nat, who normally is on our who's normally on Africation, and he delivered to a family. Well, I don't know who the people were, but they had their footy on, and they had ordered Chinese, and they were set for a lovely evening in, which is lovely. I just thought to myself, that is so nice. And my reason for saying that was because there's no other care in the world. Football and Chinese, that's all you need. Happiness. But it's a case of once you know what's actually going on in the world, it's a responsibility that you can't kind of come away from as easy without feeling bothered.
This is where we get to the red pill and the blue pill, sister.
Oh yeah.
Red pill and the blue pill, because if you want to stay in the matrix,
yeah,
it offers you everything.
That's
it offers you everything. But if you come out of the matrix and you get to see the reality of what's going on, it's not going to be easy. So the majority of people, they choose to stay in the matrix because it's easier.
It's easier. Gosh. When 9/11 happened, we have sister back. When 9/11 happened, I was actually in New York, and because of conversations that I'd had, I was able to know what was going on. And it's always helpful when you know what's going on. Once your eyes are open, as they say, you can't go back to sheep.
Exactly.
Okay.
The lady from St. Vincent is here on the chat. Her name is Laura. So hi, Laura. I'm so glad you can come. Hopefully your connection isn't too bad.
Is it possible to put your camera on so we can see your face, sister?
She's out, so I'm not sure if
all right.
There she is. There she is.
Yes, yeah, all right.
Greetings, sister. Right. Thank you for joining us this evening. Hi,
Good afternoon. How are you?
All is well. All is well. I have to say, all great people are called Laura. I myself am a Laura. So I have to personally greet you, my sister. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Okay. Yesterday, tropical storm Elsa developed into a hurricane. The eye passed over us, but thank God it wasn't bad as we were expecting. However, so as I was saying, the houses in the red zone that were partially destroyed were completely destroyed because of the flooding yesterday. No homes in the green zone were destroyed. There were few roofs that were blown off. There's still persons in shelters, however, even as much as the Prime Minister would have asked persons to return home, those especially in the orange zone, but there's still persons in shelters. They're still struggling. The relief effort, however, has slowed down because you know how it is with a disaster. As the months rolled on, everything becomes stale. Nobody becomes anxious anymore.
Yeah.
Right, but there's still persons still very much in dire need. It's getting harder and harder, especially now that persons with the pandemic, persons who are not complying to get the vaccine done, and now some of them are without a job right now, so they are jobless. And with the tough turn in the economy, it's making it even more worse because, like the single mothers, especially who do not have anyone to rely on, and without a job, having the jobs taken from them, there's no means of them support to feed their children. So you see, it is very hard. It is still very tough. I want the world to know that even as much as you might be looking in, you might hear stories of all things that's so nice, but it is not as good as it sounds, and it is not as good as it looks. There are a lot of vulnerable persons here that are still struggling. Single mothers, we have the elderlies. Just recently, we visited a gentleman. He's by himself, living in the city, close to the city. There's nobody to look after him. There's nobody to clean for him. So he's in a really sad state, and he needs the help. I do not have the means. However, whatever little that comes into me, thankfully, there's a group in Barbados who just recently sent some boxes. We haven't collected them as yet, but we will be distributing those to persons in need. But if there's anyone else who can help us to send those relief, we'll be very, very grateful, because there's still so many more. The little that we get is only that we could only do as much for those who we can, but there's so much more who needs that assistance. So we really appreciate it. The other thing is, well, yesterday during the passage of the hurricane, the water and electricity supplies were disrupted. And I'm saying, you know, if only persons can invest, and I know that a lot of people, they're thinking food, they're thinking water, which is essential, yes, they're thinking clothing. But if persons can invest in generators, this would be so good. So in a community, if we can have like 2 or 3 generators, when the power goes out, the generator can chip in once they're hooked up properly, and power can go to these homes, especially now that we're still having online classes. Just the children who will be doing the exit exams, they're the ones who are going out to do physical learning right now. But for the children who are home, which is the vast majority, they are the ones who are at a disadvantage. Because if the electricity is disrupted, then they do not have access to internet. And if there's no access to internet, there is no access to learning. And it is very hard, because we right now, we are not even doing so well with online classes, much more missing classes. It's not good. So we also, the other things that I'm looking at, you know, if we can get, like, yes, we have some tanks came into St. Vincent, and persons who really did not deserve to get them, got them. So if we can get some tanks in areas where we can get the filters, of my good sister there, Sister Teresa, we have initiated a program where we have contacted someone, she contacted from her, where he is willing to help us to get some filters into St. Vincent, but we need the money. We cannot make a purchase unless we have the money. So I'm also appealing for persons, please, if you can, because we know how very essential water is. Without the water, without clean water, our people are gonna get sick. And it doesn't make any sense we have a nation of sick people, because when people are sick, there cannot be any production. They cannot do anything, because whatever little money that they make, whatever little money that's coming in, they have to take that same money and they'll have to go to the doctor and buy medication. And the whole thing could just be complicated, because of course we know these medications have the side effects and all of that. There's so many areas that we can look into. We have right now, the crime rate has increased, and that is because people are becoming frustrated. There's no work. For some who are working, the money that they used to get before, right now there's a cutback, because the businesses now are not making as much as they used to. Right. So I was saying, yes. And when we look around too, we're seeing a lot of more teenage pregnancies. Why? Because these young people, they don't have the means, the parents cannot provide meaningfully for them. So they go out there and they inquire of men to assist. And we know how these men are. You ask them for something, they're going to ask you back, and bam, these other young ladies have been taken advantage of, and bam, what happens? They have unwanted pregnancies. Who suffers the most? The babies. So we want, how I think you can help us, and please, if you can, we want programs. We want livelihood programs where mothers, and this same the water filters could be a means of starting that livelihood program, where we can have vulnerable women, single mothers. Also, there's some single fathers. We can't forget the men as well. But we know that women are the ones who suffer the most. We can get these single parents and have them sell they become entrepreneurs. They sell the filters, whatever interest they make, they can use that to feed their families, and then you can turn over the money to bring in more filters. And this is just one way. But there's several other ways, other things that can be done. Yes, we believe in getting the relief efforts. We believe in getting the donations. But what we need programs where you not only teach a person, not only feed a person, giving them a fish, but also teaching them how to fish, because this is essentially important. We need that means of survival, so they can have a continuous flow of incentives so they can survive. A lot of people don't understand. Yes, when there's a disaster, everybody cries out, oh yes, send this and send that, and oh, how can we help? But how can you help? You can help by helping us with the programs that we want to initiate, to inject the seedling into it, because we have no money. I'm going to tell you right now, we have no money. If you can, please, I walk along with several different groups. I can give you my telephone, my information. Our sister Teresa has my information. You can contact me. I'm a woman of integrity. If you want to find out, I have a Facebook page. It's called, my name there is Denny Stevens. That's Facebook. You can inquire me from anybody from the government, because I've been doing solidarity work inside and outside of St. Vincent for years now. That is my call. It's my purpose. My purpose is to reach out to those who are in dire need, those who need help. And the things with me is, I don't only help myself. While I'm helping myself, even though I'm the one that's working for whatever little, I try to assist as many persons as I possibly can. Because if each one reach one somewhere, then at the end of the day, we will climb a ladder upwards. The oppression is real. The advantage is real. But we need, as a nation of people, especially our Black nation of people, we need to be there for one another.
That's awesome, Laura. Laura, that's really awesome. But Sister Laura, I'm going to leave you to take over with Sister Laura.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Sister Teresa.
Sister Teresa, can I just ask you a question? You still there, sister?
Yeah. I'm coming back. I just got to go to the other campaign. But yeah, please go ahead.
I'm wanting to find out from the sister which organization is the best one to deal with the finance, because I'm getting all, as you say, different ones is dealing with it, and some it might not get to people on the ground.
Yeah,
I'm
please,
just wondering how.
please ask Sister Laura, and I'll be coming back in the chat. I've just got to
Yeah.
go to that. Sister Laura, answer any questions and give them time to ask you questions so that you can give them answers. I will be back. Okay.
All right. All right.
Okay, so I am part of several different organizations. My organization is called, well, two of them, I can give you that. We have the Women Nine Mornings Committee. However, we have the account that we have. The bank is not, it's one of those little banks, you know, so it's not commercialized, doesn't have a commercialized online banking system. However, what I do, I walk through the National Council of Women. They are known, they are recognized. Well, my organization is recognized as well. They're recognized, but we go through them so we can have transparency. Because as you mentioned before, sometimes you send the money and the money does not get to who needs it. Sometimes you send the money and they buy a couple things and they make it, and then they do the videos and it looks like something is happening, but it is not happening. Now, what I am doing, and what I want to continue to do, but as I mentioned, I don't have the means. I want the persons who there's a lady, an elderly lady that a couple of them, but there's this particular one that I work with. Her floor, she's seeing the ground because her floor is board. She has a toilet outside, still using the toilet, has a toilet outside, and the toilet dropped in with her. So people need, you know, it's now that we're in the hurricane season, there are people with roofs, they have blocks on top of their roofs. So, you know, a 3 little galvanized, a 4 little galvanized, along with some board, you know, so we can help. What I want to do, and I've been talking to Sister Teresa about it, is to create a community. And this community is having trade workers, right? Workers with trade, like carpenter, mason, electrician. So I'll have a team of these guys going from house to house. We have a list. So, okay, so fine, we're gonna work with these 5 persons, at least 5 persons home for this month. We get together and we make their homes a little bit more comfortable. And believe you me, if that happens, it will create quite a difference. Because even though the government here, you know, every quarter they have a list of names, but of course, you know, everything is politicized, right? Yes. So what happens is only a certain amount of persons, the same set of people who would have gotten the last quarter will get again the same quarter.
Yes.
Now I have a personal account. Now what you can do, what we can do, my salary comes to that account. What I can do, I can organize with the bank, organize with my bank, get another account, and you can have access to that as well. And we can give an account so that it will be transparent and you can see what money is taken out and and I'll have to give an account for that. That means you have to get your bill, etc., etc., etc. You do not know me, but I can tell you I'm a person of integrity. I'm a person who give of my best. I give of my last. I help.
Sister, this is necessary.
I'm not saying this because I said,
can you get the sister's details?
Yes, I'll be, if I can't get them off Sister Laura, then I will be getting them from Sister Teresa. Sister Laura, whilst you've been speaking, I've just looked up, I've been just trying to research as much as I possibly can, how much are generators and how much are water filters. I've just seen that the exchange rate over here, 10 English pounds is 37.36 East Caribbean dollars.
Yes.
Right, okay. So with 37.36 East Caribbean dollars, how far can that actually get you?
It can get a long way. Well, in terms of the filters, we are in touch with the maker of the filters, and it is $1,500 US. to get the first shipment, which is 500 filters there. So their bottles, it comes with a second one, and persons can take them just about anywhere. So it doesn't matter where they are, and it doesn't matter what condition the water is in. They can dip the water, and the filter is right in the bottle. It is be filtered right then and there. So it's very easy to use, very safe.
Yeah.
A person that tested to that, very safe. And I think it's a really good way, especially for our children, especially
Yes.
for our women on the move, especially for our women at home or the elderly at home who can't really get around. You can fill a juice cup of water and leave it there, and it could be quite easy for them to just throw it into the filter bottle, and the water is filtered right there.
Okay.
So it's very convenient.
Okay. We are looking at about 400 English pounds to cover that shipment. That would come to 1,494.24. So that's just to give our listeners some kind of idea of the kind of money that we're looking at, that we need to be investing. That would be 400 pounds of our UK money that could actually probably cover that shipment. Yeah. Okay. From what you've said, Sister Laura, it seems to me that the priority is the generator and the water.
Yes.
Over the internet connections and the education side of things. What we need to be doing is keeping our health, the numbers with the health down. We need to, yeah. Okay, cool. All right. Okay. So, okay.
Remember once you have a healthy body, a healthy person, that person anything is possible.
Yeah.
Once they have the health, they can get anything done. But if they're sick, it's impossible.
That's it. Okay.
There'll be facts.
And Sister, what have the death rates been?
The death rate, I cannot give you, well, from the COVID, we have 12 deaths.
Oh, okay.
12 deaths, yes.
Okay.
12 deaths.
And from the volcano?
0.
Okay. Okay. And so, and from the flooding?
0.
Perfect. Right. Okay. Are flights coming into St. Vincent? Are they allowed?
Yes, flights are coming in.
Right. And can I assume then that that's where the COVID is coming from?
Well, what's happening right now is that we have some community spread, because you see, Vincentians, our people are very stiff-necked. Our people do not understand, and that's a problem with these vaccines.
Yes.
Then people are not getting the education that the vaccine does not stop a person from contracting COVID. So once a person is fully vaccinated, they believe, okay, it is safe now for me. I am invincible. COVID cannot touch me. And I would have listened to an interview on the national TV from the national station, where they interviewed this lady, and she's like, oh yes, well, I had to be vaccinated because I travel a lot and I can't wear the mask. So, and it's gonna help me to protect myself and my family. I'm like, really? This reporter did not even stop her and correct her. So the persons now who are ignorant, because a lot of people do not read.
Yeah.
Or a lot of people only listen to what they hear the other ones say. So the propagandas and lies and, just swallowing everything. So without the education, they go with what the first thing they hear. Okay, I'm fully vaccinated. It's okay for me to be without my mask.
Yeah.
No, they're not going to be me who demand, if I'm on the public transport, who demand that everyone on that bus should be wearing the mask. Is either the person's been put out, because that's the stand I take. If the person does not wear a mask and refuses to, is either they've been put out of the bus or they let me down. And you see, if more people are like this, we will, the spread of will stop by a far, or be reduced by far. Now we have persons liming on the by the every little corner, and when you look, they're not wearing any mask. And when you ask the question why, they say, oh well, I'm fully vaccinated, I don't need to wear the mask. And that is our problem. So that is why we have such a spread.
Okay.
What's happening? When persons come into St. Vincent, they have to do, they spend, that's the issue again too. Person fully vaccinated only spend about 4 days in quarantine, when it's supposed to be 14, because even though they are vaccine, as I mentioned before, vaccinated, they can still contract COVID. While
Yes.
unvaccinated persons have to spend 14 days. What goes for the 14 days for the persons who are unvaccinated should also go for the persons who are vaccinated, because you can contract it either way. And that is our problem. But you see, when people like Laura speak, I'm only the only one to get up and say certain things, and they're a minority of us. So the vast majority of intention goes with the flow. Oh, it's just a handful of them who are talking. Why should we listen? And that's our problem.
Right.
That's our problem.
Okay. Okay. Wow. There is so much from so many different levels that need to be addressed.
Oh, yes.
I'm warmed. I don't know, that's not the right word, but I'm glad that the death rates have not been high, because that would be another, it could be potentially another health risk, couldn't it? So it seems to me then
Yes.
that most people are displaced. So most of,
Yes.
stayed alive but are displaced, are without their homes.
Yes.
Okay. And this, okay. And what are the chances of the volcano erupting again?
It could happen. We've
Is
been
that
warned that it could happen.
crazy?
It could happen. Yes, there's a likelihood that it could erupt again, because it is still steaming.
Okay.
Let's hope. The thing is, with the rainfall, and with the catastrophe that was caused by the eruption, is going to be worse. I saw some videos which I deleted today of the water that came down, because of the lava flows, the holes that were dug out, the tunnels that were dug out by the lava. The waters that I saw through there yesterday was frightening, very, very frightening. But thankfully, there are no lives lost. Persons, as much as it was short notice, persons became prepared. There's still, even as much as persons who are still displaced, there's still room for in the shelters for persons who has to be evacuated. Let's hope that this time that they make the early move, and we wouldn't have to go through what we did when the volcano erupted. We're hoping for the best with the hurricane season right now. What is happening right now with the roof, as I would have mentioned before, with the ash that fell on the roofs. Because right now, even myself, yesterday I became so frightened because of the ash fall. It has destroyed the nail holes. Now the nails are lifted out of they became very loose. When I heard the wind, is that the roof itself was dancing. But God is merciful. God is merciful. And it's not only my roof, but a lot more.
Yeah.
A lot more. It's difficult. But we do as much as I can, because I'm supposed to, you see, again, we just can't sit down and depend. We have to see as much as we can do, because God help those who help them.
Yeah. Okay.
But if I can help myself, somebody's helping me. We got a couple guys who have who are going to assist. This is materials in place. And I do that for myself. And I have a sister, the same sister in Francois, that I'm gonna be doing that for. I have a neighbor below me. She needs assistance as well. I see as much as I can, but if we get the additional help, that would be very good.
Okay, sister, we have been having this would be our third or fourth show that we have dedicated to what's going on in St. Vincent. We are keenly interested in keeping this in the limelight within our community, and just raising as much awareness as we possibly can. So I'm not sure if you can see, but we have Brother 45 here, who is heading up a charity bike ride so that we can send funds over to St. Vincent. Brother 45, did you get an answer to your question? You asked what the best organization would be to send to. I think that it's a really good idea, not asking you to do this, but that we get the details of Laura's sister Laura's bank accounts, so that we know that the money is going there.
Yeah, well, at the moment, I'm actually dealing with the sister that's basically the what's the name, and what's the name? I've lost the name for a minute there. She's
Okay, all right. It's okay, brother.
Yeah, I'm dealing with the High Commissioner of St. Vincent at the moment. I've been talking to her. That's representing. She's based in London.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Has she been working with yourself or Sister Teresa at all? Do you know?
I don't know this. Well, I've only just been contacted by that brother recently that was supposed to speak tonight. He's heading an organization as well. So what's that brother's name now?
His name was Ras Debo or
Yeah,
Debo.
have you heard of Ras Debo's sister?
Sister
Okay.
Laura?
Have you heard of Ras Debo's sister Laura?
I know that a young lady who I know that just from the group with a sister of mine. Her name is Aisha Jackson.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you the name of the sister I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with a sister called Caroline, right? She's from the High Commissioner of St. Vincent. I'm also dealing with a sister called Rachel, who does the basically well, she does the paperwork basically for all this stuff that's sent through. So the sister called Rachel, the sister called Caroline. So that's who I've been dealing with, and they're supposed to be reputable people. But I'm basically, as I say, I'm putting things together, and I've got a GoFund page running, and at the moment it's running at over £400. And we're doing a cycle ride next Sunday, and we're hoping to raise more funds on that day for St. Vincent. But I'm open to I'm doing my research basically, because I don't want the money to get lost in the system.
Mm. Mm. And
My brother, sure.
no, go on, carry on, please.
I was saying brother, yes, I was saying brother. If you and I'm gonna say it, if you do not comfortable dealing with me, that's no problem, because at the end of the day, you know who you're comfortable with.
No, I'm comfortable dealing with anybody that's going to be right to make sure that the finances get through. But it's just that because I represent a group of people and I put this thing together, I'm looking for acknowledgement from whoever it is I'm dealing with, that this money has gone to such and such, and I want because I'm accountable to the people that's donating. So wherever the money goes, I have to account to them, because I've asked them to donate. So I've got to have paperwork afterwards to say, well, this is coming from such and such, saying that our company, our group has given such and such, and we've raised such and such. So I myself can sleep good for people, because you know what black people are like. They're quick to say that you've stole the money. Where's the money gone? And I'm aware of that.
I'm very familiar with that. I know how our people are.
Yeah. And Sister Laura, is there also an issue with taxes as well? That taxes are now being levied on I think my question is it better that we send money, or is it better that we would send a generator or send water filters and stuff?
Okay, but if you can get the generators and get them to St. Vincent before, because I think we have yes, it was extended. The fees, the customs were waived from the time of the volcanic eruption to September, the end of September. So if you can send them, that will be perfectly fine.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Okay. All right. Okay. So we're going to do as much as we can on this end to make sure that, you know, we can help and assist. The intention as well is that is ongoing and not just a, you know, one-off donations or anything like that, because we recognize that this is a crisis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I must say though, be very mindful. Do your research. Be very mindful of the people who you send donations to, because some groups were only formed during the volcanic eruption.
Yeah.
There are groups that have been on the ground even without a national disaster. There are people who work day in, day out, who understand the concerns of the people, who understand the needs of the people. We have to be very, very mindful. But sometimes these are the people that we don't hear about. Yeah. You see, these are the people who are not working for a name, who are not working to be for fame, but who have the interests of the people. And that, my friend, that's what I do. I have the interests of the people at heart. Not that my name be out there, because everything that I do is by the Almighty God's hands. And I only do what he asks of me. Yeah. And he asks of me to help, and that I am his humble servant, and that's exactly what I do. I give of myself.
Okay. Sister, we are keen to keep the conversation alive, to keep the communication between us going. Even though you see there are 4 of us on the Zoom, we actually are broadcasting live over the radio as well. So in our last show, we had just under 70 people listening on the radio. So to those that are listening on the radio today, if you would like to get more information, the WhatsApp number for the Africation group is 07986 726 238. If you could just send a message to that number, if you would like to donate monies, if you could just send a message to that number. I'm taking personal responsibility. I am Laura as well, and that's my WhatsApp number. Please do message me. I intend to stay in contact with Sister Laura Stevens and Sister Teresa from the Global African, is it Consult? The Global African Congress, okay, to get some aid going, to get some support, to get some necessary resources sent to St. Vincent as soon as possible. Okay, Sister Laura, is there anything else that you would like to share with us at this time?
Okay, I think we would have covered everything.
Yeah.
I'm just appealing to persons though to help. As I mentioned, I have some stuff was sent to me by a group in Barbados. I will be collecting those as food, toilet, etc. By which the organizer for the organization is Lalu Hanuman. Working together, David Commercial and I work together as well. A couple other comrades in the Caribbean. So those I will be picking up on Monday, God's willing. What I'm going to do, I'm going to do a campaign because what I'm doing, the persons that I am working with, I want to be consistent.
Yes.
I want to be consistent.
Yes.
And not only giving them, but also helping them to develop themselves.
Okay. Okay.
So even persons can start a little tree with we can sell snacks and earn some money. Be good. Right. Because instead of just being home and persons, so for them. if they can do a little something for themselves, because it's at the end of the day, it all boils down to being independent. Independent is what our people need to be, especially our single mothers. They need to be independent. They are independent, then there's going to be a house of the color. They're going to fly, you're going to see their potential, and there will be much production.
Yeah.
With that, it's pointless.
Can I just ask?
So, thanks you. Yes, go right ahead.
Yeah, it's pure ignorance on my part. It really is. The ground, are you able to cultivate from the ground? Are you able to reap from the
yes
ground?
in fact, yes, because right now I have my backyard planted up. I have some okras. This morning I reaped some tomatoes, and that's mainly for my household. Because it's important so that for us to eat what we grow. That way we know that there isn't any chemicals, and we know that whatever goes to our bodies, there won't be any toxins. So that is something that that I'm also advocating. Last December, we had, normally I light up community. I do that every year. I light up my community. And we had some prices where we encourage persons to do competitions. We encourage persons to do a backyard garden. So we went out to business places, and we asked them to donate like garden tools and so on, which they did. And right now, I'm proud to say that we have some young women who have now become farmers. They are cultivating their backyards. For those who do not have the space, we have them planted in tires, and the tires also, it'll be getting the tires, we'll be getting rid of the mosquitoes, because just recently we had an epidemic, which was the dengue fever, which is caused by the Aedes aegypti mosquito. So that is what I would have done to help to alleviate the breeding of these dangerous mosquitoes. And also it's a means of them of getting something to eat.
Yeah.
Because the vegetables here are very expensive. But if you can plant it in your backyard, how better is it for you?
Absolutely.
You keep the money in, and also if you make enough, you can also sell to your neighbor.
Yes. Yes.
So it's a win-win situation.
Okay. Okay. And it's lovely news to hear that the sisters have taken to farming. Are there any other entrepreneurial activities? So, would it help as well if we were to send seeds over to you guys?
Yes, we have very fertile ground, very mountainous. Our soils are very rich.
Okay.
So yes, if we can get the seeds, believe you me, our women, because where I'm living, it's a farming community. And
right.
if our woman gets it, because right now I've just spoken to, in fact, I just got 7 acres of land from, well, it's not mine, but she allowed me to use it to plant it. 7 acres of land from my aunt. And what I'm going to do, I spoke to her about it. We had a meeting, a couple of persons, and I had a meeting. What we're going to do, I'm going to pass it and have different women. Of course, we need some men too, plant up so they can produce. Because what I want to do at the end of the day, that have a market in our community, because our community produces a lot of provision, a lot of vegetables, a lot of fruits, and just most of them are going to waste. So if we can have a market in my community, it will go far away. Because having to get your produce to the city, having to pay transport, having to pay someone to take them out from the land is very expensive. Very, very expensive. So this is another initiative that I've taken, because I want to see how as much as I can. It's not everybody that went to school and were able to achieve academically. So, but if you can get skill. The other thing I'm doing, I'm trying to get a sewing machine. I've spoken to 3 women right. There's one of them sews, and the 2 along with myself, we design, we do a lot, we do very nice designs. I've had some designs I've had for years. So we're going to put that and make it become, we're gonna make it become a fruit, a fruit, because it's there right now, it's just a seed.
Yeah.
We want it to become a fruit.
Right.
So we are trying our hands at almost anything, everything.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much
So,
for that.
the sister said, you said earlier that you've got, there's a water problem. What did you say was the problem with the water?
Okay. Well, we know with the ashfall and the pyroclastic flows, it's not going to, the water is not going to be purified right then and there. And even the chlorine that is being used is also a problem. Sometimes people with developing medical problems, and it's the water. You know, it's the water. Yeah. So with the ash and the pyroclastic flows from the volcano, they're doing the, trust me, the water authorities here is doing their very best. They're doing their very best to see how much they rectify that, to see how much you can purify the water, but for 100%. And health is wealth. Health is wealth. The persons who still do not have running water, especially persons in the Grenadines. The persons in the Grenadines, if you see the water that they drink, we're talking about frogs, lava, mosquito lava, and other things. They just strain it off and drink it, and it's very dangerous. You know, so that is I went down to, I was in the Grenadines just a couple of days ago. I've spoken to some persons, and what I wanted to do, carry down, if you fill the water containers up here and carry it down to in the various communities, and have one person responsible for that tank, so that when they can use whatever water else to bathe and for domestic use. But when it comes to drinking water, at least they could have, there must be a tank where persons can go and at least fill a bucket a day.
Yeah.
Because that is a challenge in the Grenadines, especially. They're not drinking clean water.
So, what's the government doing as to sort of rectify that situation?
There isn't very much that I don't think the government can do, because it is very difficult to run lines from the mainland to the Grenadine Islands. They have a catchment, but not a lot of rainfall in the Grenadines. They hardly ever get rain. So that's a challenge. It's a big, big challenge.
Yeah.
I think maybe the government could try some, could try to get some grants and try to do an initiative to get water down there. I don't know. I cannot speak for them.
Well, it sounds to me, sister, it sounds to me, because you're on the ground, you're seeing it day to day. It sounds to me like you need more dealing with the generators, water, pure water, and all these kind of emergency stuff more than, I'm not saying that, I'm not trying to belittle the school system and all that, but I'm just saying that seems to be the more what you need at this present time.
Yeah, that is definitely the priority.
Yes, most definitely. Yeah. Most definitely.
Yeah, well, that's I really appreciate you coming on and explaining all that to us, because as I said, I've got in contact with quite a few people, and to have you on the ground actually seeing it day to day is a big help to our understanding of what's actually going on.
Okay, there's one thing I want to say before. Now, if you can really help me to form this community, because if I can have just some guys who will live to help others, you know, you can get some intensive incentives here and there, because you know they have to live as well. They have to live too. But I really want to form this community, this community of helpers to move out and help others, because we have a lot of selfish people. A lot of selfish people. They will start good, and then when things start to look nice and money start to come in, people start to get selfish and they start to get greedy, and they start to look at self. No more helping this person there who's in dire need, and that person there who needs this. And that's what I don't want. I've been doing this as I've since I know myself. As a little girl, I had children coming to my house and assisting. How many godchildren I went to church and stood up for? And I'm saying, this is my cause. This is my cause for living. This is what I do. This is who I am. Yeah. The former High Commissioner, his Maxwell, that's the one before his wife, Doris Charles. You can contact him. He knows me very well. We've been working together for a number of years politically. Well, I'm no longer politicized, but you can ask him about me. He knows, he knew me from the time I was a tiny tot, because he's my cousin from 6 years old. So he can attest to everything that I do, and he can tell you who I am. Okay. I can give you his contact information, so you can inquire of me.
With the organization, sister, that you intend to start, do you have a name for it? And what would we do from here? Would it be, what would you need us to do from here in the creation of your organization of like-minded people?
Well, the name would be Movers.
Movers. Okay.
Movers.
Okay.
Because in this organization, there wouldn't be anybody who was laid back.
Yeah, everybody's active.
They have to have a passion. There must be a passion. The heart have to be into it. Okay. And we're not doing anything for name or for fame. We're doing it because we know, because we have a love for the people. We believe in love, and if we are love, we need to reach out. We need to be comfortable knowing that we're making somebody else's lives comfortable.
Yeah.
And that is what I'm for. That's what I believe in. So what I need from you, though, if you're having a problem at any time, I'm sending money. You can write a check to the companies, whether to get lumber or galvanizer, whatever material that will be needed to assist these persons. I'm just saying.
Okay.
That way, you know exactly how the money is spent.
Yes.
Because accountability is very important. I, more than anybody else, knows what that is.
Yeah. Okay. And we can get the details of Movers from Sister Teresa as and when it gets up and running.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Okay. I'd like you to consider the Africation show, if Brother 45 doesn't mind me saying, as in allegiance with you. Speaking for myself, I will do whatever I can to ensure that we can get some funds over to you with regards to generators and water specifically. And
yes, but as I mentioned, we have Sister Teresa will give a better insight as to, because we are in touch with the maker of the filters.
Oh yes.
And we are negotiated. Right now we're just waiting to get the money to get the filters into St. Vincent.
Okay. Are they based in America?
No, in England.
Oh wow. Right. Okay. Do you have the name of the my phone has got low battery. The name of the filter company, of the water company?
Yeah, it's Water to Go.
Water to Go. Right.
Water to Go. But Sister Teresa, she's in touch with him. I am also, but because he's been contact, I will leave her to give you more information about him. Because I'm not sure if just contact her. She has it all in necessary information, because we've been working together for a while now.
Okay, all right. Sister Laura, thank you so much for joining us today. You are more than we could have hoped for. Thank you so much. We just were crying out for somebody on the ground who could actually give us some real information about what was happening there in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And you've surpassed anything that we could have hoped for, over and above. So thank you so much. And please do look out for messages of support from us at Africation in the very near future.
I would appreciate that. Other the Watson, Glenroy, knows me very well. We have been working together for a number of years. When he came to St. Vincent with the reparations committee, I met with him along with the others in the different from different countries. Okay. So yes, he knows me very, very well. So you can also inquire of him, of who I am.
Perfect.
And I'm really looking forward to working with you. I have right now, there's a church in Canada. They will be working, they've started already. They sent 7 barrels to me, which I've distributed. And the good thing is I still have like flour and so on. That persons come to me when I post, because I know the people. I've been working with them for years, so I know who are in need.
Yes.
So I want to distribute what I did. I kept the barrel back for those who I know who might need the help to come back. And that is what is happening.
Okay.
That is what is happening.
Okay.
So trust me, I'm not beating myself and saying, oh, well, I'm this and I'm that. But when I tell you, I know the people and I know who's in need, believe you me. I've been for ages.
Yeah. Okay. So with regards to stuff like flour and rice, if we were to send you money, would you be able to access that easily on the island, or is it better that in that case, when it comes to stuff like flour and rice, that we would send a barrel?
When it boils down to the monies that you're gonna send the barrel, it will be easier to send the money. It will be easier on both ends.
Okay.
Because you haven't the struggle of going to clear the items. Those little items can be bought in the markets here. And the good thing is, at least we help in the growth of the economy.
Yes. Okay. All right.
But I'm really looking forward to working with you. There are a couple of organizations that I've started with. We can join up. That will be so very good.
Well, that would help so much, wouldn't it? If all of these little organizations, both over here and where you are, would actually join together, work together, it would solve so many problems, because that way the money would come into a joint reception and be equally distributed to all. It's common sense, but
what it can do, yes, very much so.
Yeah.
And what I can do, because I'm very transparent, what we can do is that even though you send monies here, when I'm doing the projects, you can also be a part of it.
Okay.
So we can do a mini live show.
Yes.
So the people can see exactly where the money is going.
Okay. Absolutely. All right. Thank you so much for sparing us the time this evening. Is there anything else that you would like to say?
Yes, just one more thing I want to say. May God bless all of you. It was really nice for you to accommodate me. I want to thank my sister Teresa. She's really, the words can describe that woman. She is really a woman of a big heart, a woman of meaning. I think God has placed us together because, you see, when you have positive energy, a person with positive energy and a person with, we are drawn together. And I think we were put together for a reason to help and make life on earth a better one.
Yes. Beautiful. There are some parents. So
you guys have yourself a pleasant evening.
Okay.
I left my my name and telephone number in the chat.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put my email address as well.
Okay.
So you can contact me at any time, whether night or day. I'm here to help.
Okay. Is there a code?
Night or day, you can call me.
Okay. Is there a code that normally
1784?
1784 is the code, right? Okay. So for the people who are listening to our online radio link, the number, if you want to contact Sister Laura Stevens Dublin directly, her number is 1784 491 0108. So that's 1784 491 0108. That is to contact Sister Laura directly in St. Vincent for those who wish to do so. Okay. All right. And we also have contact details for Sister Laura as well. Oh my gosh, Sister Laura? Laura?
Yes, I'm here.
Is your middle name Denise? Is your middle name Denise?
I am Laura and Denise Stevens Dublin.
I am Laura Denise Pusey.
Oh, really? No.
Yes. Yes, really.
Yes, I'm also Denise.
Sister, we have to work. I can't It's necessary. Yeah. Now we're in contact. We have to stay that way. Okay.
That's how the universe works, my dear.
It certainly is. It certainly is. Okay. I look forward to working with you, my sister. Take care.
As I mentioned, I am here night or day.
Yeah.
If you need any information, you can rely on me. It doesn't matter what hour of the day. I will make my time. I'll make myself available to you.
Okay.
I am here. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to work.
Okay.
What time is it in St. Vincent at the moment?
It's now 21 past 4 p.m.
Or 21 minutes past 4?
Yes, it is.
All right.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
So we're
21 minutes past 9 here.
yeah, we're 5 hours ahead of you.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. My mind is shook. We have work to do. That's all I can say. We have work to do and we will do it. Okay?
Yes.
Okay. Take
We
care.
will get it done.
We will. Okay.
Thank you for having me again. All the best, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Right, thank you, sister. Bye-bye.
Okay.